Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Happy Hour Podcast pregame episode. Of course, my name's Ray. This is Matt, and we haven't really done a pregame episode recently. We've been
a bit of time.
we've been busy
We've
as
been so
shit.
busy.
And of course, shout out to Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Crab Cake City, kind of like Suplex City.
Who got a fucking shirt?
Dude, the shirts are awesome. They even had the Pita Tier shirts and all that. Now, rumor has it that not only tonight are we going to have our special guests Scott and Jaycee from A Light Divided, but an even more special guest may be joining us.
Maybe.
Now, he said he was going to be here in about eight minutes ago. That being the one, the only, the 6th episode appearing Mike Blair, who may very well show up and may grace us with his appearance.
Right.
And I think
it's not Al Snow.
Yeah, I think actually the last time he was here, he was molested by my dogs, and I'd never seen him again. And the last episode we saw him was the episode with Marianne. And that's when he went on a crazy drive, like in the middle of the night, like in his car, and he's coming live via Zoom on the pre-show from his car. And it's just kind of like, okay,
That ginger is
it
strong?
Is it? Oh, yeah.
Did you have any of these yet?
Not yet. I have not had one yet. So what I'm going to do real quick while we're on this, I'm going to go ahead and hit the invite gimmick so I can go ahead and invite Jaycee and Scott. Then that way, when they want to come in,
very gingery.
Now, what I have is I have actually a handful of notes of stuff on the phone that we're going to go through. It's not necessarily something now. Of course, you listen to their music. I listen to their music. Honestly, I like it. It's awesome. I think A Light Divided is going to be something, very, very good in the near future. And, it's just the whole thing of, when that big break comes, that's just, the whole thing.
Yeah,
so
about, man, that big break.
Yeah. And that's all it takes is just one time for everybody to, come together. So here, let me just go ahead and send this. I'll hit paste for that. And then I will hit whenever you want to jump on. Now, what's going to happen is Mike's going to get here at 8, and we're going to be live with him, and the dogs are going to come in here and then just completely run amok. And so, Light Divided, and you said like they kind of striking resemblance to Paramore. And I'm not sure if
in my opinion, I don't know if they'd get offended if I said that.
And that's the thing. I'm not sure if they would get offended if we compared them.
A lot of artists
Paramore.
Don't like to be compared to really anybody.
Yeah,
they like to be more like their own sound kind of type.
Oh yeah.
But when it's like if you're a
fan,
or
not really sound wise are they to it, but I feel like Jaycee looks a little bit like the girl from Paramore.
Well, the thing is, they're a lot heavier. They're not.
Man.
They're
It is pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Bourbon, whiskey, lime juice, and ginger beer.
Mm-hmm.
So they have Kentucky Mule coated cigars. I'm not a smoker, but that's Kentucky. But
I am interested.
Yeah, we have a very interesting mix of things tonight. For once we get to, of course, new shot of the month. Granted, for the people that'll be watching us live tonight, it's June 26th. However, this episode carries on. It's going to air July 4th. So, therefore, we have to unveil our new shot of the month.
Oh, well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm glad I missed the fucking Jaeger because
we would have
me and Jaegers. I call them Jaegers.
Yeah.
We're not friends.
Oh yeah, we're not either. Like I've had some of the worst moments of my life with Jaeger, and I don't know if
I don't know. I've had a lot of good times with Jaeger, but I don't know if it outweighs the bad.
Now,
oh my god,
we talk to each other amongst a group chat almost every day, and there's an idea that we conjured up probably around November. We're going to do our first ever Happy Hour podcast Friendsgiving episode. It's going to be myself.
I think it'd be really cool.
You, our friend Mike, who, I will always credit as being the one responsible for the podcast because he's always suggested to me, why don't you do it as a podcast? So, him, our friend Billy, your brother, all of us that are together in that chat and the awful things that we talk about, that's just going to be magic. Just 150% magic. And we have episodes like that every so often, but we have to have guestless episodes sometimes. And that's just the way it is. A lot of times the guests end up being us or end up being our friends or you know,
Just
we
so,
just
like,
have so many
just so,
memories.
like, fans
yeah.
get to know us and how
yeah.
our fucked up minds operate.
Not only like us, but our fucked up acquaintances
Yeah.
as well. So
it's just a group of us, just like fucked up people. Like I don't,
very, very fucked up individuals. Of course, you know, a lot coming up. I mean, dude, like Jimmy's was great.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's was great. Pita Tears, we didn't really get much for Pita Tears. I wish I could have got more pictures or got more of an in-depth picture of Pita Tears to advertise them. But I mean, dude, so much is going on. There's so much I want to talk about. I don't want to spoil it because I want to talk about a lot of the stuff on the shows. But I've been skimming like news articles, like finding weird news stories and stuff like that. You know, then that way that's stuff that we can incorporate into the show. Just like last week when we had Rob Mayer on, we sat there and shared stories of us falling off the stage. So, you know, that's the whole thing. He shared his story of him falling off the stage, which Tommy Sambazo told me to ask him about. And I shared my story of falling off the stage wrestling. Socrates shared his story of falling off the ring apron. I think what it was is Socrates was talking shit to somebody and then he fell off the ring apron, which that's just, if you're a fan, that's the best. Like that's the absolute best thing that could ever happen
it's
kind
of like the, man, who was the wrestler? They show it all the time. He's
Scott Steiner.
No.
When he went to clothesline test and he fell off the ring apron.
No, but that sounds funny. The guy, the black guy, he was. I don't know,
the black guy. You're really narrowing it down. Titus. Oh okay. Yeah, when he fell during the greatest Royal Rumble. Yes, as fast as he could, and he didn't go underneath. He like bounced underneath. But the thing is,
he disappeared.
Yeah, if that was any other ring I've ever worked with, he probably would have been dead. He got this close to hitting that steel frame bar that goes along the WWE ring. So, you know, I mean, that's just.
I think my kid stuffed some shit in here.
Maybe that's why yours here. Try it out of the can. Maybe that's why yours tastes weird. Are you sure your kid didn't shit inside of that and then you just.
Fuck it, I'm gonna drink it.
So the other one drink out of the can because obviously something went wrong.
They fucking ruined my horn. See what I do when I drink out of it.
Oh, you know what? I think we have a very special guest. I think it's gonna happen. So
well, I wash this out every time. So I washed it before I came. Maybe I don't know. Those old fuckers. I swear. I'm telling you, my kids are trying to kill me.
Or could it very well been when you had that in your asshole that, you know, because why would you stick this part in your ass when you can just go big and just shove that in your ass?
You gotta go big or go home.
You know, Oh, there he is. Look at that. Oh my God. Look at that. And the beard is starting to grow back in.
Oh,
yes. Episode 7 for Mike Blair right here.
Episode 7. And he has a beard.
And of course he knows we're gonna bust his balls. He knows that 100%. Yeah. But you know what? I've always said this. I feel our episodes are the best when the three of us are together because Mike always plays dad of the group. Like Mike's always just kind of like, hey, you know, are we sure we should be talking about this right now? And it's like, of course we should be talking about this right now. It's all right. We're only on the pre-show, so you're good. No, what's been up, man?
Not a whole lot.
I know you've been going through trials and tribulations at work, and you know you got that squared away. So sometimes you just have to pull some big punches to get what you want out of your job. So of course I had to pull some big punches to get myself out of the situation I was at one of my jobs, and now I feel 100% better. Of course, we're coming to you on the GoPro, my free GoPro that I got through Amazon. And all three of us can now be on camera at one time, unless Socrates is here, because Socrates is blind and he can't. I don't understand it. I have a yellow basement. My basement is yellow. Yes. So he said he can't see because of bright lights. This whole basement is bright. So he sits on the other end of the laptop because the laptop screen hurts his eyes. How in the fuck does the laptop screen hurt his eyes when this whole room hurts my fucking
nose? Laptop screen is going that.
So what is it about? Does he got an eye?
I think what it is I think when he killed that hooker, she might have got some blood in his eye. It might have been AIDS, but one of the two. But AIDS blood may have gotten into his eye, and I'm assuming that it made him blind. So
does AIDS blood do that? I didn't know AIDS blood.
Of course, shout out to Socrates. He's been an all-star lately. He's been coming in, filling in for Mike, filling in for Matt. He's came in clutch. And he said last week his famous words that not only does Al Snow fear me, but also Mike Blair fears me because I've been here and Mike hasn't. And he's like, that son of a bitch also hasn't called me, so I know he fears me. But no, shout out to Socrates. It's going to be us three originals this week. And Mike, what's going on, man? What all you know about our guests? You look up much on our guests, The Light Divided?
I listened to that, like the song you sent, and 2 or 3 others, and like what I heard.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier that I feel like they're kind of on the break of, going to that next level. Right. Yeah, and I feel like they're kind of like Ego Kill Talent when we had Ego Kill Talent on. Theo Vanderloo, shout out to Theo Vanderloo. But that band was on the brink of doing good things, and they're starting to tour now. They're starting to do American tours. Now that things are opening back up, they're starting to actually, do some good things. And the cool thing is A Light Divided allowed us to use their song Radio Silence for our new intro. So our intro and outro is a broken up version of Radio Silence. So you will hear that every week on season 2 of the Happy Hour podcast.
Season 2.
And it's always better.
That's still crazy.
Yeah. Season 2, episode 54 is what we're
in now.
Yeah. 54 weeks we have been doing this. Imagine that. 54 weeks. I'm getting Facebook notifications, Facebook memories. I got one today and it was for the Bob Starr episode. And I was like, man, that was like episode 4. God. So, Jesus, but I mean, man, and here's the thing, like I got us booked all the way up to the first week of November. So the first week in November, we are lock solid full of guests. We're going to have a couple of very special guests around Halloween time. I don't want to spoil any of them, but there is a lady that I'm going to have on. She's a rock star journalist, and she's getting us some of our guests in August. So our whole four guests in August will be through her, but we're going to also have her on in November because she's a rock star journalist. She has stories so that alone, sure. Aline Shapiro, that's her name. She's the rock star journalist. So that should be extremely fun having her on. And also there's a few names thrown around. One of them from a very, very classic movie that as soon as you hear the title, you guys will be like, oh no, get the fuck out of here. So hopefully that pans out well and we can get that guest on, because when she was like, would you like to have such and such on? I looked him up. I was like, he was in that, get the fuck out of here. And so, yeah, so a lot of good stuff coming. Hopefully season 2 ends up going to the same levels as season 1, if not better. Of course, we're doing a lot better with video. We're doing a lot better. Last week was probably the best audio we've had. I figured out the setting on that. And, live situations, it's hard to figure out in a live element what was going on. And Matt knows, like, we were scrambling at the last second. And we were like, we have 2 options. Lose the audio for this, which we don't have an episode, or lose the audio in the restaurant itself. So we're like, let's lose the audio in the restaurant itself, which I'm glad we did, because there were a handful of kids there.
Yeah, there were some kids there.
So yeah. And we start off with talking about, and I'm not sure how much of it you heard, Mike, but we started off with, very kid if you were a mortician or a coroner and you showed up and Anna Nicole Smith was the body that you were picking up, whether or not you would fuck that corpse or, cop a feel of a tit. Right.
So there's a lot of ear covering going on.
Yes. And that's how we started off.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like with the 2-hour episode, like we had our guests, of course, our guests were eating. The last hour was just us just kind of, being us. Tommy would hop in, a few people would hop in here and there, but the first hour was just pure gold, just pure, boom going. And I honestly, I feel like our incoherent game, that's been getting extremely well. Rob Mayer did very good with it. Lately, the guests haven't been able to figure out what the cards are. So, Rob Mayer did a really good job with figuring out last week. But we got so much stuff, going down, so much stuff going on. This is our first band of season 2, and of course, next week we have our first transgender porn star. That alone, I have so many questions alone, because how many times have you guys sat there and thought to yourselves, if I could wake up with a set of tits what would I do? So now it's the kind of thing. Yeah.
No, I don't do that.
So now,
Mike,
it's the thing of we can ask those kind of questions. I mean, you look at it like this. You remember Nyla Rose from AEW. I remember Nyla Rose from AEW when she was a male wrestler at EWA. And then she became Nyla Rose and worked for EWA. So it's, and she was women's champion in AEW. So, the whole thing is, it's very interesting. It used to be a UFC fighter. So, that should be very, very fun. And then also Al Snow. We can't forget about Al Snow. July 25th, Al Snow is going to be coming in and he's going to be facing Socrates. And Socrates bought the Al Snow Fierce Socrates t-shirt. So he can wear that.
Full in, knows the whole deal.
Socrates is full in and knows the whole deal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah. So, and of course, Jaycee is in the waiting room. So I'm going to go ahead and admit her once the computer decides it wants to work full speed.
Sorry, I pulled pork earlier. Sorry.
Hello.
I think I fixed it.
Got it. There it is.
How are you?
I'm okay. I have very little experience with Zoom of all things. So, just trying to piece it together, do what I can do.
we normally do a pre-show, so we're just kind of screwing off on our pre-show that we do on Patreon every so often. So once Scott comes in, we'll probably go live right around 8:00.
Yeah. I know he's working on trying to log in too. Yeah, there we go.
And of course, I'm Ray. This is Matt. That's Mike.
How are you?
Jaycee, nice meeting you guys. Thanks for having us on this. I know it's been sort of in the works for a while.
Oh yeah. And there's Scott right there. I'm going to go ahead and admit him in. Normally
good timing.
What we'll do is you guys are good with hanging out for the full hour?
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. So we'll talk about you guys, you guys' career, various questions. We also talk about our own stuff like local weird news, just various other things to chime in with that we'll ask questions, like, hey, this thing happened. Have you guys ever had an experience or, a certain urban legend or, hey, what's something. So just basically, we try to be a little bit different from typical podcasts.
And we play games.
Yeah, we play games too.
Lord.
We have 5-second rule. We have Incoherent, and we have Cards Against Humanity. So we were gonna do the karaoke roulette, but I couldn't get the audio stuff to work properly for that.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead. Those are our normal 3 games. What we'll do is we'll go about 30 minutes, and then at the 30-minute mark, I normally say we're gonna take a break. That's only for us to have a break in our audio for when we edit it for next week when it airs next week. Podcast stuff.
Cool.
One rolling along. So but yeah, I mean we try to be a little bit different. Be yourself, feel free to cuss, say whatever,
That was my next question. I'm like, how clean does it have to be?
100% mature audience podcast. We've had adult film stars on, we've had, you name it. We've talked about some of the most awful things on the Facebook. I mean, our 1-year episode started off with if you were a coroner or a mortician and Anna Nicole Smith was the body you were picking up. Like that's how 1-year episode started. So
may she rest in peace.
Yeah. And also I saw online you had the Free Britney stuff on. That's that stuff with her. That's
oh man. There's a lot to unpack there. I almost wore my Britney shirt for this, but I'm like, I think they get it.
Well, I was a huge Britney fan when I was growing up. Like I had Britney pictures, I had her CDs and all. And Mike's instantly judging me right now. Like I could just see but
I'll probably lose all my street cred, but I grew up loving Britney Spears. Went to her concerts as a kid, the whole thing. I'm obsessed. So that's still very much a big part of my childhood.
Now, when we go live, Zoom recently made a couple of changes. I used to be able to tag people in Zoom in your live. Now, for some reason, it doesn't allow you to. So I guess when if you guys are on there and you see it, just go ahead and just shoot a share if you can, because for some reason, if not, I have to go back through via my phone or whatever and then tag you guys. I don't know why they did it like that. It's weird. It makes it a lot harder. But
they just can't make anything easy. That's what I'm figuring out. Like Facebook keeps taking away things that you normally could do. It's just the actual worst.
Yeah. It's just like, come on, guys. Like, this is just, and of course I see you guys are going to be in Frederick, Maryland.
Yeah, really excited about that.
Me and him used to work in Frederick all the time, every so often doing delivery.
Oh, no shit.
So, you guys should have a good time out there.
Yeah, we usually have anywhere north, actually a lot of places. We have a really good time. Like, we'll just make the most of it. We just show up and we throw down, and
yeah,
if anybody's there to do it with us, then even better.
Nice. What's up, dude?
Hey, man, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfect.
Okay, I wasn't hearing you earlier.
Oh, no, you're good. Whatever. That's why I always like to try to connect early, and that way, if there's any kind of complications, we can just go ahead and roll through it.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
All right, Scott. My name's Ray. This is Matt. That's Mike.
Hey, guys.
As I was telling Jaycee, just pretty much go with it. Feel free to cuss. We're mature audiences podcast. Say most awful things you want. We don't we advertise as mature audiences. About a half an hour through, we do a quote unquote break that just gives us a break in the audio to add commercials and all that for the actual audio version of the show. And then we get into our games, which is 5-second rule, incoherent, and Cards Against Humanity. So we do those with all of our guests. So
great.
What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to start to structure this for Facebook Live, and then we'll go ahead and rock it.